people I was passing, people were out of their cars, chairs set up, coolers between them, carblesses open. They were tailgating the tailgate.
Tailgate culture, baby.
Tailgating culture at its absolute best. I wanted to take a picture of them. They said no. That's okay. But, yeah, tailgating the tailgate on a beautiful Saturday, Fan Appreciation Day here at AmFam Field. And we're going to have a fun 2 hours. We have some one-on-one interviews that Dom was able to capture in the open clubhouse with Ricky Weeks and Robert Gasser, which are going to be very interesting to listen to. Gasser especially I'm excited to hear from. He may play a big part in what the Brewers plan to do in the postseason here in just a couple of days. Also, I got some questions for Dom because as a Brewers fan, I'm irrational. And I feel like Dom will help kind of temper the expectations and the feelings a little bit. So we're going to have a fun couple of hours. If you want to interact with us, hit us up. As always, call us, tweet us, text us on the Carbless talk and text line, 800-990-3776. That's 800-990-3776. Our guy Andrew back in the Gruber Law offices. One call, that's all studios. All right, Dom, I'm going to start with the hard stuff. As a Brewers fan, we watch all year. We see Mr. Consistent on the mound. And I pulled this screenshot the other day of just what Freddie Peralta has done this regular season. He's 17-6, 201 strikeouts, a 2.68 ERA. He is toward the top, if not the leader in wins in the National League. Why is Freddie Peralta, Dom, in your opinion, either unbelievably underappreciated, underrated, or just seemingly gets absolutely no love when it comes to things like the Cy Young Award?
The thing that is hurting Freddie Peralta right now, and I think everyone understands it in the division, is there's this guy named Paul Skeens down the road in Pittsburgh. And it's not taking anything away from Freddie's incredible season, right? I think Freddie has a legitimate case to be in the top 3 of Cy Young Award voting, which is an honor in itself to be considered a finalist for the top honor a pitcher can receive in baseball. It has also been an incredible season in Pittsburgh, a sub-2 ERA on a losing team, mind you, the Pittsburgh Pirates for Paul Skeens. And I understand, right, we hear it all the time. There's a mixture in the fan base and a mixture in all of baseball of, sort of the more experienced crowd saying wins should matter. And then the less, the younger, more new age fans, I kind of consider myself one foot in both buckets, where it's like, well, what can the pitcher control? He can only control the guys that he's facing. And that's what Paul Skeens did, and Freddie Peralta to an extent has done as well. Freddie is not going to win the Cy Young.
Nope.
It is going to be unanimous for Paul Skeens. But the real case becomes, can he get top 3, right? You've got Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who's probably got the big numbers on the full season to give him a case as well. Matthew Boyd's been really good down in Chicago. It's been a little bit tough in the second half for him. Christopher Sanchez deserves love for the Philadelphia Phillies. So there is a real race of who's going to be the runner-up, who is going to be the other finalists with Paul Skeens.
And that's the thing I think as like a fan where I understand how it works. I know Paul Skeens is going to win it, and I'm sure the same way where like Schwarber probably looks over at the LA Dodgers and he's like, I probably have a case for a MVP this season, but it's probably not going to happen. Aaron Judge seems to be the MVP in the other league for as long as he's putting on the pinstripes. And I just think from a national perspective on the outside looking in, I'm just like, I just want our guys to get a little more love than I think they're getting. And that's always the, not complaint. I think it's a very good criticism when you're a small market fan. In the same way we were in our office the other day, and there was a list that came out, and I think the Brewers poked some fun at it on Twitter as well. And it was the top 10 second baseman in Major League Baseball right now. And there was a name missing that anyone who's paid any attention to any baseball this year, and Bryce Terang, it's clear. I mean, you can make the case, all right, maybe he's not top 5, not top 3, whatever. If we're talking top 10 at his position, Bryce Terang, the Platinum Glove winner from last year, I mean, it's simple as that. Do these guys, as you are closer to them than most with your clubhouse access and your job, do these guys look at things like that and have that chip on their shoulder, or are they just playing Brewers baseball?
I think it works a couple of ways. They will never publicly say Yeah, I saw that list and I got mad. Like because it's a lose-lose from the player situation. Like, oh, you're listening to what the peanut gallery has to say, but then you look at what Bryce did in the month of August right after that list came out. Just kind of tells you maybe it got into his inbox somehow, because when we were talking to Bryce and talking about the whole season that is for Bryce Trang, he's hit another level. And last year he hit another. You could see every single season a little bit better, a little something extra. He's becoming a real offensive threat right now for the Brewers. So to your point, is he a top 10 second baseman in baseball? Undoubtedly 100% yes. Is he a top 7 second baseman? Undoubtedly 100% yes. Is a top 5 second baseman? Undoubtedly 100% yes. The top 3 becomes a fun discussion. Ketel Marte with the Diamondbacks. Nico Horner deserves some love down in Chicago. I know that's blasphemous here to give some love to a Chicago Cub. But he's been phenomenal this season down there, and the Cubs' big reason why they're going to be the number 1 wild card team. And then also, you've got Bryce. Brendan Donovan's been hurt a lot of the season. Jazz Chisholm Jr. still deserves a little bit of credit as well for what he's been able to do in New York and the bright lights that is New York. I think that's where it becomes a compelling case. That in my opinion, Bryce Trang's a top 3 second baseman in baseball, but that's the bias of being able to watch him every day.
Exactly, and from a Brewers fan perspective, I hope he obviously continues to do what he's doing, especially at the plate. I think guys like him and Joey Ortiz have the defensive side figured out, and like they know it like the back of their hand. However, if people are going to keep underrating him and keeping him outside of the top 10, when it comes for payday, great. All right, let's keep him in Milwaukee as long as humanly possible, because we want to continue to build around this great group of teammates that Pat Murphy and Matt Arnold have put together here in Milwaukee. If you're just tuning in, this is a Brewers warm-up special edition. Tony Cartagena, Dom Catronio with you live from the parking lot where we can smell the food at American Family Field. Brewers and Reds today. Dom, before we really get into the show, we're going to hear from Robert Gasser. We're going to hear from Ricky Weeks. Before we get into the show, the Reds are still playing for something. The Brewers kind of are, but not really. Let's start with the Reds and the implications of what these next 2 games can mean for them just overall from a playoff perspective.
Yeah, I mean, let's just go ahead and lay it out right now here in the National League. There's only one spot up for grabs right now, and that is between the Reds and the Mets. It's the last team in. It's the last wild card spot. Whoever gets that last spot will be heading to Los Angeles for a best-of-3 series starting on Tuesday in the wild card. Now, as long as the Brewers are the 1 seed, they are not going to face the Dodgers or this last team in. Right now, if the Brewers get that 1 seed, which they only need 1 more win to do so, that they would be hosting the winner of the Cubs and the Padres. And the Cubs, last I saw, they were in the lead, and now they're up 4-3. So if the Cubs win today, they clinch that being a home field wild card series for them against San Diego.
So they would host San Diego.
Best of 3, all 3 games at Wrigley. But for the Reds, they are keeping an eye, getting underway as we speak. Mets in Miami. If the Mets lose this game this afternoon and the Reds win here tonight, they're popping bottles. It's over. They're the last team in because they hold the tiebreaker on the New York Mets. They have a lot to play for still. Now, if the Mets win today, pressure's put back on the Reds. You need to match it because they do control their own fate, meaning if the Reds win out, they're in. There is nothing the Mets can do to get themselves in because they do not have that tiebreaker.
And the Milwaukee Brewers, if they keep the Mets out by winning one of these next 2 games, or if they keep the Reds out, by winning one of these next 2 games, they will also set a franchise record with 97 wins in a season. They have it tied right now with 96, 2 to go. It's so interesting as a Brewers fan because I'm a little bitter toward the New York Mets from last year.
As you should be.
I think I like the Reds because they're a divisional opponent, and Ellie is incredible to watch, and I kind of want to see him in the postseason because I think he'll get even more fanhood than he already has. He definitely deserves as part of that team. And yeah, it's just such an intriguing matchup. But also, these are like the 2 most relaxed Milwaukee Brewers games. Even last night, from a fan perspective, most relaxed games that you can really imagine because you're in. The Phillies have to win one of their next or lose one of their next 2 in Minnesota.
Right.
And if the Phillies lose one of those, then the Brewers will automatically then also have that number 1 seed. There's some conversations, maybe this is just my Brewers fan friends, about do you actually want the number 2 so you're not playing the Cubs in the NLDS, things like that. The Brewers have been so good all year that I have taken the stance, officially, unofficially, that it doesn't matter to me at this point. I hate the Cubs, yes. Are they very, very good? Top 5 team in baseball, in my opinion? Absolutely. And if we play them in the playoffs, let the cards fall how they will, right? Like, that is the matchup everyone is looking for. That's the matchup, I think, from a television perspective. If you can't get New York, L.A., you want Milwaukee, Chicago, and that rivalry in the NLDS.
Yeah, the cream is supposed to rise, right? Like, you're supposed to see the best play in October. And with all due respect to the Cincinnati Reds, it's been a fun run. It's fun to see them here. The only reason they're in this position is because of an epic collapse of the Mets, not because the Reds are barnstorming and taking over. It's the opposite of like what the Seattle Mariners have done to take over the American League West. They've won something like 17 of their last 20 games. They've been on fire. They went out and snatched it. They swept the Astros, like all that stuff that goes into getting them in. The reason why the Reds are even a contender right now is because the Mets have had a collapse of epic proportions. They're 17 games under 500 since they had the best record in baseball in the middle of June. That's pretty hard to do when you go from 20 or so games above 500 to now being virtually a 500 team at the end of the season. So would it be fun to see New York into L.A.? Always is, right? It'd be a rematch of last year's NLCS. But I thought Pat Murphy made a good point here, and then we'll take this to break. But Pat Murphy made a good point in the clinch day when the Brewers won that at that time the Reds were in and looking like they could maybe be that last wildcard team. For the Brewers to win the division by, 6-7 games, to win the division that is going to have maybe 3 teams represented in October, the only division in baseball, which is what everybody expected heading into the season, that the NL Central will be the most represented division in the major leagues. It feels great to win the great division.
That's a good point.
Meaning that if the Reds get in, the Brewers will have season series on Cincinnati. They lost the season series to the Cubs by 1. We know that. But the point being, they still won the division in the division that had 3 playoff teams.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think for Wisconsin sports fans, you can liken it a lot to last year in the NFC North. Right?
Yes.
The Detroit Lions obviously won the division. The Packers got in. The Vikings were really, really good as well. And it's one of those things where it's just like you are playing elite competition pretty much each and every night, and not to mention the other teams in the division, the Cy Young winners in the NL Central right now as well. We talked about a couple minutes ago, it's Paul Skeens and the Pittsburgh Pirates. So I look at this entire season, and we very early on in the year, I don't know if Dom was part of this. I don't think with your job you should be part of this, so we'll just say that this was just me, myself, Ben Bruss, and some others. We pooled together, and we took the over for Milwaukee Brewers wins.
Absolutely.
And it was set at 83.5. And we were at the end of August, and we were like, oh, yeah, this is going to happen, and this is going to happen soon. And I know they're, looking to get that 97th win, and that cashed in for us. And we put together a pretty nice little payday, which was really awesome to just have something to cheer for all year round. But now when you look at it, and the expectations of the Brewers coming off a playoff appearance, coming off of Pat Murphy being the manager of the year. They lost Willy Adames, yes, but people really thought this team was going to go back down to a 500 baseball team. And now I think as we sit here today, they're 32 games over 500.
Right.
And they are in the playoffs fighting for the number 1 seed overall in all of baseball. And as a fan, could not be more excited about that. Couldn't be more excited to be here at American Family Field today. Dom Cotronio and myself, Tony Cartagena, live from the parking lot as the tailgates are underway. I see someone has one of those like Nerf footballs that scream when you throw it.
Yeah.
That sound just brings you back. That sound is awesome. We can smell the grills. We can see all the fans here for Fan Appreciation Day. We're going to have a great next 2 hours. We're going to hear from Robert Gasser of the Milwaukee Brewers. We're going to hear from Ricky Weeks. We are going to talk about the season that was for the Milwaukee Brewers and how Pat Murphy has his crew ready for the postseason and what is hopefully a deep run to the World Series. This is a special edition of Brewers Warm-Up here on 94.5 ESPN.
More Specialty Brewers Saturday coming up next on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
This year, it just feels different.
Swing and a miss! He struck him out!
Listen to WTMJ as the Brewers make their charge to the postseason. Brewers playoff coverage is presented by the Narrow Spine Center of Wisconsin And featured by Annex Wealth Management, Boucher Automotive, and Delta Dental. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
In football, what does every great team start with?
A strong defense. Same's true in business.
Defense against what?
Cyber threats. That's why companies use Trend Micro.
What do they actually protect?
Your network, your data, your people, from ransomware, phishing, and more.
So it's not just antivirus?
Not at all. Trend Micro has a full defensive playbook trusted worldwide for over 35 years.
Sounds like the kind of defense every business needs.
Exactly. Don't get blindsided. Go to trendmicro.com and see how enterprise security is done right.
Thinking about buying or building a new home? Start with a mortgage pre-approval from Great Midwest Bank and experience a state of tranquility. At Great Midwest Bank, we offer fast approvals and flexible options with experienced loan officers who understand the local market, because they live here too. Whether you're breaking ground for new construction or buying that dream home just around the corner, we'll guide you every step of the way. Bank with confidence and start your journey at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
It's Jen Latta from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. For me and my family, finding the perfect home is a journey, but we don't walk it alone. With the We Sell Group, Rob and Nick aren't just real estate agents, they're part of our family's team. They bring us options, perspective, and peace of mind. While they navigate the market, I can stay focused on all that life has in store. Because at the We Sell Group, it's not just about the home, it's about the people and the path it takes to get there. The We Sell Group, more than agents, part of your journey. Get started with Rob and Nick at wesell.kw.com.
This is Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, letting you know that Siding Unlimited installs Pella windows and doors. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows, our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
The annual Catholic Memorial High School open house is Sunday, October 12th. Become part of the CMH tradition and make plans now to attend from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on October 12th. Register at catholicmemorial.net. Awarded for academic excellence, a rich tradition of athletic success, and an experience rooted in faith. Find out how your student can achieve more at CMH. Tour the school, meet the faculty and coaches, learn all about the opportunities available for your student. Register today at catholicmemorial.net. Catholic Memorial High School, where you rise.
Kevin Moret here for Mentality. Listen up, gentlemen. You're fighting an unfair battle. Studies show testosterone levels in men have plummeted by 25% in just 2 decades. That's why you're struggling with energy, muscle, and drive. But here's a game changer. Mentality's FDA-approved treatments boost testosterone by 30% on average. Imagine reclaiming the vitality your grandfathers had. Picture turning heads, dominating your career, and feeling unstoppable again. Don't settle for today's normal. Seize the day at mentalityhealth.com/radio. That's mentalityhealth.com/radio.
At Heart of Canal Street, for over 30 years, our hearts have been set on making a difference for children in our community. Now through December 10th, we invite you to share your heart by playing the Canal Street Bingo game at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Every time you play this special bingo game, you're helping to raise funds for children's charities in southeastern Wisconsin. Learn more at potawatomi.com/heart.
This is Specialty Brewers Saturday on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Live from the parking lot of American Family Field. No better place to be on a Saturday, especially because it's low-stress baseball. The Milwaukee Brewers got it wrapped up.
Speak for yourself.
NL
I'm
Central
stressed out.
Division champs. Why is Dom Catronio stressed out?
I'm not stressed out.
I do understand the 1 seed is still on the line for the Brewers. For those just tuning in, Tony Cartagena, Dom Catronio with you for a special edition of Brewers Warm-Up live from AmFam Field. And all of our Brewers coverage this offseason is presented by the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin. Let them help you get back in the game. That's the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin. And yeah, I said it was stress-free baseball, and I understand the Brewers still have a magic number of 1. So that's on me. I just think as a fan, Dom, and you talk to fans all day, whether on social media or when you see them out and about and on Brewers Warm-Up on 620 WTMJ, the Cubs are not going to win the division. We're done with that countdown. We're done with are they going to make the playoffs? Are they even going to be a 500 team after the 0-4 start that looked miserable to get this thing underway? I just think the way that this season has gone, from the lowest of lows to the highest of highs, and by that I mean free cheeseburgers at George Webb's, obviously, it has just been one of those seasons where it's like, all right, now we have until October 4th just to kind of chill a little bit, get healthy, get things back together, and that's where I wanted to hit with you, because get healthy is going to be the key.
Yeah.
A little bit of news yesterday with Jose Quintana and Trevor McGill for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, so they both threw a live bullpen session yesterday, live batting practice. 3 ups, as we call it, for Quintana, 45 pitches or so. In the words of Pat Murphy, he looked fantastic.
Fantastic, all right.
And the word is that he would be available, good to go, for an NLDS. You know, from a calf strain, it's nothing arm-related. His lower body's fine. And then furthermore, too, just to kind of talk about Jose for a second here, this is going to be very matchup-oriented because you look at it, San Diego, they have a bunch of lefties in that order that do not get pinch hit for.
Okay.
Like, they play everyday lefties, and they're a little worse against lefties. You know, I think of Gavin Sheets. I think of Ryan O'Hearn. I think of Jake Cronenworth. Luis Arias hits everybody, but you still like to face him left-handed. And then you don't have Ramon Laureano available on the NLDS if you face the Padres, given they put him on the injured list. So the point being is that the way the Brewers use their lefties, like somebody we're going to hear from shortly, Robert Gasser, is also going to be important. Quintana, Gasser, Ashby, Koenig in the back end, but maybe he gets deployed earlier. Even Rob Zastryzny has a chance to make this postseason roster based on the opponents in all the lefties that they could be deploying. On the Trevor McGill front, we're in wait-and-see mode. Today's recovery day to make sure that he recovers well.
And he did pitch, though, not in a game, but he did throw yesterday.
He threw that live batting practice, 19 pitches, touched 96, which is a good sign. Now, people think, like, oh, my gosh, he's not hitting 100. Why is that? That's a big deal. Well, the thing is, you're never going to get that full adrenaline in a practice setting.
Okay.
And when you're hitting 99, when you're hitting 100, and you're able to have full confidence in ripping a breaking ball, all that stuff comes with the real game energy with 40,000 people in the stands. So if he recovers well today, he's going to be activated tomorrow, and then get him into the game just to see how the body reacts. They don't need to necessarily activate him before the DS. You know, they don't need to do it. They would like to do it.
Okay.
But he is eligible to be activated for the DS if he's healthy to do so.
I think that's 2 great updates right there, because I know just the way that the last, we'll call it 7 to 10 days have gone for the Milwaukee Brewers. They're on the road. They didn't look great in San Diego. They come home, they lose to the Reds last night in kind of an uninspiring offensive game. I don't think they had a hit after, the third or the fourth
inning, yeah.
And it's one of those things where I think fans are getting a little bit devil's advocate, right? When you're winning 14 games in a row to start the month of August, fans are like, oh, are we peaking too soon? And now it's like, all right, now there's no momentum headed into the offseason. And the way baseball works and the way I think sports works, you ever have, like, your favorite football team, you get the first round bye in the NFL playoffs, and then the first conversation is always, are they going to be rusty?
Right.
But if you have a team playing really, really well, it's like, oh, did they peak too soon? There's no way to win. That's why I look at a ball club like the Milwaukee Brewers, who have just been the model of consistency pretty much this entire year because of their leader, Pat Murphy, not letting him get too high, not letting him get too low, next man up mentality. And that's why I think, personally, they're the perfect team to make a run into the postseason, make a deep run, because nothing seems to phase them. They just seem like a team that is very kind of even keel throughout, and that goes with all the injuries they've had. That goes with everything. Even, you know, we were talking a couple days ago about, like, who is going to start Game 3 of the NLDS if Quintana's unable to go, and we know it'll be Freddie. We know it'll be Priester. And then fans, and, you know, I think Levering was on with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on ESPN Milwaukee in the morning, and he was like, they might have, you know, one of those classic opener games that you saw. But now if Quintana can be back out there, that changes everything. I think from a mentality standpoint, fans, myself included, the ball club itself, going to be very, very excited. So all signs pointing decently well for the Brewers as we wrap up this season and head to the postseason.
You know, actually, we have some breaking news now on the Trevor McGill front, speaking to the media earlier today.
Everyone tune in right here. Breaking news from, I'm going to say this is from Dom Catronio, even though I know you're reading from Twitter. But either way, breaking news about Trevor McGill on 94.5 ESPN.
Attributing to Adam McCalvey on MLB.com. Quote from Trevor McGill. I definitely see myself being active in the NLDS. He is
let's go.
He is expected to be activated for tomorrow's Sunday regular season finale. He wants to pitch in the game, even if it's just for one batter.
Doesn't matter. Get a little bit of reps. Keep ready to go for the NLDS. The outlook is great, Brewers fans. A couple of days ago, McGill goes down, Quintana goes down, and people are wondering if that was it, if that's all she wrote, just due to depth. And now it looks like we're going to have both of them back for the postseason. Couldn't be happier about that news. Can you read that quote? What did he say?
I expect to be active for the NLDS. That is Trevor McGill, and that is good news. And we expect to see him in tomorrow's contest.
You add that into Pat Murphy saying that Jose Quintana looked fantastic in his, what'd you call them, 3-ups? His
3-ups, 45 pitches for him. He's going to be certainly a piece to keep an eye on in the NLDS.
I'm getting excited about next weekend already.
Celebration's back on, right? Never a doubt.
The champagne never left the ice, but now it's really ready to go as the Brewers have donned their postseason Magic Brew. I saw the signage yesterday.
Yeah, what do we got on that? You would like that tagline this year? Magic Brew?
I think it's good. I think there's a couple ways they could have gone about it. Magic Brewin' is probably what I would have gone.
Yeah,
Magic
I think so
Brew sounds like something you would order in the Third Ward at a brewery. But it also made me think of, let's be honest, some of these Brewers guys, you saw Mizorowski pulling Pokemon cards, and some of these guys are kind of nerdy, right? Very nerdy. I could see these guys interacting with some Harry Potter wands and trying to do some magic and some spells on one another. I could see it. So I think it fits.
I think of Euchre Magic. I think you don't want to blatantly just say Euchre Magic. I like Magic Brew. I like Magic Brewing. I like brewing up magic, whatever. I think magic is the word to describe a season that at one point in the year you technically went 33-0. Think about that for a second. With the 3 winning streaks this year for the Brewers, right? A 14, an 11, and an 8. At one point they were 33-0. That is magic.
That's longer than any month on the calendar.
Yes.
Magic is perfect then. You know what? You put it that way. We can split it. Magic this, magic that. 33-0 at one point with 3 win streaks, 2 of them deep into the double digits. Love it. I think that's absolutely perfect for this team. And we're hoping to see some magic next week Saturday here at American Family Field as the Brewers will host either the Padres or the Cubs. That's going to be a 3-game series, probably in Chicago, but we'll see how the rest of the regular season plays out between those 2 teams. As we go to break here on a special edition of Brewers Warm-Up and all of our amazing Brewers coverage, reminder to everyone, is presented by the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin, where they help get you back in the game. The Neurospine Center of Wisconsin. More on them later on in the show as well. We're going to hear an exclusive from the clubhouse. Dom Cotroneo spoke with Robert Gasser, who I hope and I think is actually going to make a huge difference for the Milwaukee Brewers in terms of depth during this playoff run. Cotroneo, Gasser, as we go to break on a special edition of Brewers Warm-Up here, 94.5 ESPN, presented by the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin.
Robert, welcome back to the Big League Clubhouse, man. It's been a minute since we've seen you here. What's this journey been like for you coming back from Tommy John surgery?
It's been a grind. Well, thanks for having me first off. But, it was a grind, a lot of tough times in rehab, but, you work through it and you end up getting back to the big leagues the next year. So at the end of the day, I can't complain.
When you started out on the process and, we've learned it's full Tommy John and, it's timing's always brutal, right, to have it in the middle of the season. Did this go according to plan? Were there setbacks? And what did you learn about this whole process to get healthy again from Tommy John surgery?
It went as smoothly as you could hope. Obviously there's always going to be, not always, but there's usually going to be setbacks in that process of just, growing pains again and getting back into throwing and adjusting to, putting your body into that stress. But at the end of the day, I was super happy to be able to, just get out of the complex before the end of the year. Just getting the Nashville was wow, that's positive for me. But, once you get the call here and you're like, wow, it's pretty remarkable to get back after that 1 year. But, rehab's a grind. It makes you appreciate how much you really do love this game and how lucky we are to play it. I'm just glad to be back.
So let's go to Nashville where you're rehabbing, you're starting starting traditionally, and then the decision at the start of September, they're going to shorten you up, they're going to have you more in this multi-inning role. How do you react to that, and how has it gone so far, since now we've seen you make a start back in the big leagues in the meantime as well?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, whatever I can do to help this team win, I'm down for. I was glad that we, got all the workload I needed to prove that I can go 5 innings, get, started working. But yeah, like I said, whatever it takes to help the team win, whatever role that may be, I'm all in for.
When you look at your stuff and your repertoire since coming back now, it's a limited sample in the big leagues, but what did you see in AAA as it comes out of your hand and like, okay, that feels normal, that feels crisp, of the things that were working for you before you went down with the injury?
They talk a lot about proprioception. It's a big word that I don't know a whole lot about, but it's just about the feel that you have. Some guys I feel I hear struggle with finding the command. I definitely had my days. I still do, but who doesn't? But yeah, I felt like I was able to feel the ball in my hand pretty well coming off of it. Obviously tweaking some things, getting feel for spin back. That was probably the hardest part. But once it was just like getting in the game environment again, in the flow of things, I feel like it kind of took care of itself.
For somebody like you that is so command oriented, right? Like some of your best stuff comes from the fact that you're in and around the strike zone a lot. What were the mental battles like, man, I hope this comes back? Or like, was there moments of, like you said, there were some bad days in the rehab process, but when you were able to see, okay, that's executing like I'm supposed to, the mental confidence that can bring?
Yeah, I mean, in Arizona, I was struggling to feel the spin early. Kind of started to get a feel for it, but went to Wisconsin for my first rehab outing out of the affiliate, and I gave up 2 runs in the first, and it was like, all right, like you're gonna have to pitch again. You can compete. So I think once I got out of the like, hey, feeling stuff around and started to like, hey, I got to get hitters out, that's kind of when it started to take care of itself again.
So as we look at your process in this Brewers organization, right, from the trade acquisition to the slow burn in 23, then you get called up in 24, but it's short-lived, and to now to be on the precipice of potentially being on a postseason roster. How do you make of your first 2.5, 3 years of being in the Brewers organization?
Man, well, this organization has been great since I've gotten here. Built so many good relationships, players, coaches, staff. So, I'm just super grateful to have, great people around me. But, that's how it goes. I feel like there's a lot of people who, there's not many people who just show up and, they're there if that's their career. They just go all the way through. They're lucky if they do, but, it's you gotta earn your stripes a little bit. So, I'm just hoping that I keep getting opportunities, and when I do, I take full advantage.
Robert Gasser joining us here. Appreciate the time. Best of luck, good health, and have some fun here at the end of the year.
Thanks, Tom.
More Specialty Brewers Saturday coming up next on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Milwaukee College Prep, redefining what's educationally possible so more children can pursue their dream. Join me, Craig Karmazin, and Milwaukee College Prep Thursday, October 23rd at Venue 3 at the 3rd Street Market Hall, and take a stand in closing the opportunity gap for Milwaukee scholars. Your support means quality education is accessible to over 2,000 scholars in Milwaukee. Enjoy food, drinks, and a chance to learn more. Purchase tickets at 2025 takeastand.givesmart.com. That's 2025 takeastand.givesmart.com.
At Tony Wendorf and Associates First Weber Group, we believe in the human side of real estate. For us, it's faith, family, and friends in that order. We live that every single day. I'm Tony Wendorf. We move fast, negotiate with confidence, and communicate clearly so our clients win. We operate from a place of gratitude, having donated nearly $200,000 back to our community since 2020. You deserve a team that delivers a luxury experience no matter the price point. Contact us today to get started. Tony Wendorf and Associates, trusted knowledge, superior service. Contact us at wendorfteam.firstweber.com.
When it comes to joint replacement, you want the best care available. The Orthopedic Surgery Center in Pewaukee is a leader in joint replacement, offering same-day surgery with advanced technology. Their team of experts specializes in knee, hip, and shoulder replacements, using the latest techniques to minimize pain and recovery time. By choosing them, you're choosing a center focused on providing specialized care tailored to your needs. The team at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin can get you back to what matters, living pain-free.
And their prices are more affordable than urgent care or the ER. And they'll send a full report to your primary care doctor. Why wait at the ER? Walk in to Ortho ASAP for faster, more affordable care.
Total joint replacement. There is a difference. Visit orthowisconsin.com. That's orthowisconsin.com.
Outfit your crew. Your workforce is your brand. From uniforms to safety apparel, Alpha Custom Apparel helps you outfit your team with gear that looks sharp and works hard. We create durable, functional apparel that keeps your crew comfortable and confident on the job. No more digging through endless catalogs. We handle the details so you can focus on running your business. With fast turnaround, custom options, and friendly Midwest service, we make it easy to keep your team looking their best. Visit alphacustomapparel.com. Let's get to work.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in, it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Looking for localized banking solutions and a strategic partner? Fifth Third Bank has been shaping the future for businesses for 167 years and for the last 15 right here in Milwaukee. We offer industry-specific expertise, local decision-making, and extensive experience to help you navigate the ever-changing business landscape with your business in mind. At Fifth Third, we're big enough to provide sophisticated solutions and expert guidance, yet empowered to make local decisions and build strong community connections. Experience the commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Lazaga for Comfort Awnings. I reclaim my outdoor space by having Comfort Awnings install a motorized retractable awning so I can enjoy the sun and get relief when I need it. Sensors are also available that detect strong winds and rain to extend or retract your awning. They even protect against UV radiation so you can safely enjoy the outdoors. Family owned and located in Burlington, Comfort Awnings expertly installs custom awnings that fit your home and style. Right now, you can receive $250 off all awnings and screens. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com.
This is Specialty Brewers Saturday on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Tony Cartagena, Don Petronio with you live from the parking lot at American Family Field. Fan Appreciation Day here at the ballpark today for the Milwaukee Brewers. There's already lines to get in. I know there's a pretty sweet tumbler that's been given away. There's also jam-packed parking lots. You can smell the grill. One fan came up to us during the break and asked if they could plug their electric grill into some of our power source
that
here.
Needed to be a symbiotic, like, hey, if you're plugging in, we need some food
so
here.
That's the thing. We kind of told them we're unable to help because we have radio equipment here, and now I'm regretting that decision because I think a trade could have been made. Yeah, like if you come back here, you can plug in, cook us up a couple brats. Yeah. Brian D will ask for some forgiveness later, whatever it is. But we're having a great time here. We're with you till 5 o'clock on this special edition of Brewers warm-up, and all of our amazing Brewers coverage on 94.5 ESPN is presented by the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin. And Dom, when we work with some of these great partners, we're given, just some talking points and some things about them. The first one on the Neurospine Center is professional athletes like Christian Yelich trust Neurospine Center of Wisconsin. Now, when I just read that, right, I'm in. Whatever it is that they have, whatever it is that they're doing, if someone like Christian Yelich, who has gone from MVP to people questioning if he's able to stay healthy to the season he's had this year, thank you, Neurospine Center of Wisconsin, for getting our guy right, because he has 29 home runs, 100 plus. Is he still sitting on?
He's at 101 now.
101 RBI on the season. And Dom, you have such great access to the Brewers and such a great relationship that I'm curious. It sounds really good to fans. 30 home runs and 100-plus RBI in a season. Is Yelly going for that 30? Would that mean something to him?
I think it will. Deep down, it will. He doesn't mind. All the thing he really cares about is the ring. Mm-hmm. But, and I'm included on this of just that so many people thought MVP Yelly wasn't coming back. But I called him Miami Yelly last year, right? Okay. Contender for a batting title, hit a bunch of doubles. Maybe the home runs aren't there, but, man, you can still spray the ball over the field, show off your speed, and get on base with a walk. That's how he was this season ago. Now he's trying to damage the ball. Yeah, there's some strikeouts with it too, but for Yelly to turn in a 30-100 season potentially with one more homer in these last 2 games, coming off back surgery,
that's the thing.
Season-ending back surgery where everyone was thinking our friends at Neuro Spine Centers knew exactly what they were doing with Yelly, and him and I, both guys in our early 30s, understanding back pain. I also have some back pain going on, and we've kind of created a community of ourselves of joking about that.
Do
with
I
our
have
backs.
to add, his is from hitting home runs and play professional?
Mine's from golf.
I was going to say, did you rake the yard too hard? What happened?
No. Golf and caddying have caught up to me over the years. But on the Yelly front, he's such a leader by example. And I've talked to Sal Friedlich about this, about Yelly's leadership style and the way that he's been able to learn from him. We've talked about so much the mixture of veterans and young players on this club. When Yelly arrived in the big leagues, think about it. Those Marlins teams, you could feel the core coming up. Giancarlo Stanton, Marcelo Zuna, Jose Fernandez. You had Ichiro as the veteran leading that club. A.J. Ellis joined that team. Like there was so much mix, but they didn't get it done, right? And then they get blown up, they get traded, they get all this stuff. Then Yelly comes here in 18, and it's like, you're going to lead us to the promised land. And he almost did. 1 game away, obviously, in 18, winning the MVP. And now the cycle repeats. And there are these young guys, who Ricky Weeks talked about this later on in our program. There are young guys on this team that don't know anything other than winning. Whereas guys like Rhys Hoskins and Christian Yelich, when they were young in the big leagues, they didn't know what it was like to win.
They know what it's like to be to play those irrelevant games that the Brewers have avoided for the better part of the last 7 years. I think the stat is, you'll know better than I, 1 game where they were out of contention in the past 6-7 years.
Since Woodruff, Peralta, Yelly, start of the 2018 season, start of 2017 season, I should say. Since that core arrived, 4 games mathematically out of contention for a playoff spot.
Amazing.
Since
Absolutely
2017.
The Brewers that we grew up with, Dom, I've told this story on the air before. I don't remember what year it was, but I remember the cover of the Journal-Sentinel one morning was celebrating that the Milwaukee Brewers were going to finish the year 500. Not that they made the playoffs.
Right.
Not that they had a Rookie of the Year or an up-and-coming star. It was that they were going to finish the season 500. When they made the playoffs in 2008, it was for the first time in 26 seasons.
Yeah.
We still celebrate that 82 team. Love them to death, but we still celebrate that team like they won back-to-back-to-back World Series. We haven't even gotten it done yet. And Yelich, since his arrival, obviously they made the playoffs in 11 and then again in 2018. But since his arrival has absolutely changed the Milwaukee Brewers, I think, as a franchise. Yeah. And I kind of joke, as a Brewers fan my entire life, if CeCe Sabathia and Prince Fielder didn't exist, Christian Yelich would be my all-time favorite baseball player. It wouldn't be close because I feel like even just watching him now, everything he does is just different. Where I'm just like, I love watching him just play the game of baseball. And, Terang hits a home run. Love Bryce Terang. It's really cool. Yelich hits a home run, and it's just different. I think fans just react to him differently. And I think we said all this to say this, Neurospine Center of Wisconsin, clearly the real MVP of the Milwaukee Brewers season, if they were able to work with him and get him right to have the season that he's had. And I don't know if he's in the lineup today. I haven't checked yet. I don't know.
He's in there.
He's in the lineup today. Let's all root extra loud for Yelich to get that 30th home run in one of his plate appearances tonight. Get that 30-100 season at the way he's battled back to lead this team back into the postseason, back into contention for that World Series ring. No one here, him, Peralta, Woodruff, no one deserves it more than those guys, and I hope to see them get it done. Reminder to everyone that our coverage of Milwaukee Brewers postseason baseball, end of the season baseball, Milwaukee Brewers in general, on 94.5 ESPN is presented by that team at the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin. Also need to shout out Annex Wealth Management, Boucher Automotive, and Delta Dental of Wisconsin. That's Annex Wealth Management, Boucher Automotive, and Delta Dental of Wisconsin. I saw a clip on TikTok the other day with the Boucher Automotive logo in it, and it was people here on opening day from our ESPN Milwaukee team. Dom, you'll get a kick out of this. We're going around asking fans how many innings they thought Alex Strofe was going to pitch for the Brewers.
Yeah, no comment. No comment on all that. No comment.
Yeah. That would be, I would pay good money to see him pitch one pitch in a professional ballpark. Not even against a professional hitter, just in a professional ballpark. But yeah, we have some fun stuff planned, and it's all thanks to our partners, like I mentioned, at the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin, Annex Wealth Management, Boucher Automotive, and Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Keep it locked right here. This is Brewers Warm-Up, a special edition on 94.5 ESPN. Tony Cartagena, Dom Catronio with you. At right about 4:10 today, we're going to hear from Ricky Weeks. Really excited for that exclusive that Dom brought to today's show. So about 4:10, Ricky Weeks. And until then, we're celebrating the Milwaukee Brewers. Get involved. Call us up, 800-990-3776. It's 800-990-3776. We'll talk to you after the break on 94.5 ESPN.
More Specialty Brewers Saturday coming up next on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. Greg Matzek, Gary Ellerson, the day after reaction show you need in your life.
Who benefits the most from Micah Parsons being on the field? Secondary. Keyshawn Nick.
It's Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Mondays with Greg and Gary.
If you're a quarterback, you've got to get the football out of your hands before you really want to do it. I mean, everybody's getting their wealth with this, but to me, I think it's really the guys in the secondary.
Live from the Potawatomi Sportsbook Studios from 6 to 8 p.m. every Monday on 94.5 ESPN.
Any coach will tell you, games are won in the preparation. The same's true in cybersecurity. Trend Micro helps businesses move from reactive to proactive with cyber risk exposure management. That means real-time visibility into your risks across cloud, email, endpoints, and networks. For over 35 years, enterprises worldwide have trusted Trend Micro to prepare, protect, and perform. Don't wait for the next threat to blow the whistle. Get secure now at trendmicro.com, because the best defense is being ready before the game even starts.
Sundays are for football and carbless. Born in Wisconsin, carbless handcrafted premium cocktails are packed with flavor, not sugar. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, just 100 calories, and gluten-free. Whether you're tailgating in Green Bay or calling the plays from your couch, carbless is the cocktail that's always game day ready. Crisp, clean, and crafted to win. This season, drink like a champion. Drink carbless, a proud partner of the Green Bay Packers.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night, so for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Kyle Walls. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free, no interest for 3 whole years. Restrictions apply. Call 414-410-2000. And like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Why settle for just a job when you can have a career in the exciting automobile industry? The Auto Dealers Association of Mega Milwaukee new car dealer members have service technicians, sales, administrative, and management positions available now. The first word in career is car, and one of the best places to find a great career opportunity is at an Adam member new car dealer.
For current great paying job opportunities, visit adam.com/jobs. That's ADAMM.com/jobs.
Your path to a degree should fit your life, not the other way around. At Lakeland University, you can personalize every part of your college experience. With a main campus in Sheboygan, evening classes across the state, and flexible online options, you choose how and when you learn. Just graduated high school, changing careers, juggling work and life, they've got options for you. You can even earn credit for experience you already have, or for the work you're doing now, saving time and money. Start customizing your future today at lakeland.edu/ESPN. Lakeland University. Experience it your way.
It's a home run! But wait, is your roof ready for the big league storms? If your roof has more holes than a catcher's mitt, it's time to bring in the pros. At Avondale Roofing, we've been handling leaks, repairs, and full replacements with major league precision for over 30 years. And as a GAF Master Elite certified contractor, we bring top-tier quality and proven performance to every job. Whether it's a quick patch-up or full upgrade, our team steps up to the plate and knocks it out of the park every time. You're out! Don't wait till water's in your dugout. Call Avondale Roofing today and keep your home in the win column.
This is Specialty Brewers Saturday on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
At 3:52 on a Saturday afternoon, the parking lot of American Family Field, and myself, Tony Cartagena, Dom Cotronio with you. Dom, you're at a ton of games all year long. You know, this is what you do each and every day, providing great coverage of the Milwaukee Brewers for us. For those who don't get out here as often as we'd humanly like, which for me would be at, 81 home games a year, the haze of grill smoke over the cars from our vantage point right now is giving me life.
I love the slow build of the smell of the brats, of the excitement. You see kids playing catch, whether it be a football, a baseball, whatever it may be. It's just all the awnings popping up. And also, can we take a second?
Absolutely.
Summer, please don't leave us. It's 80 degrees. I'm in short sleeves. Every tree is green. Everything looks great. Like everyone's having a great time. Like that's what it's all about.
We'll call it fall, but it does feel like summer. And we got fans coming to see us as we're live on ESPN Milwaukee right now, talking Milwaukee Brewers. Who's your favorite brewer this year?
My favorite brewer is Jackson Cheerio.
That's a good
2020.
answer. Jackson Cheerio.
2020 again.
Did he hit the 2020 yesterday?
Last night.
All right, explain to fans what that is, and just in relation to his age, because we're not talking about him being 20 years old anymore. He's now 21.
Right.
He was able to celebrate with champagne properly, but yesterday Jackson joined the 2020 club.
Yeah, so he is now the youngest player in baseball history to have multiple seasons of 2020. 20 homers and 20 stolen bases. So it's pretty incredible that somebody that the Brewers signed themselves as a 16-year-old coming out of Venezuela, developed themselves with a brand-new facility down in the DR, brought him through their minor league organization, made his big league debut as a 20-year-old, made the opening day roster last season as the leadoff hitter, and is now back-to-back seasons of 2020. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. We have seen this dude touch the surface of the sun and live the tail to tail. Obviously, 2 homers in Game 2 of last year's NL wild card. He was left on deck in Game 3. The point being, this dude, man, just year 2. He's 21 years old. He is still going to be younger than majority of players in the National League. There's only 2 players younger than him in the National League, and he's already got 2 years under his belt, and he's going to his second postseason.
It's insane, and he's under a very team-friendly contract over the next couple of years. So he's someone that if you're in the market for a jersey, a lot of fans do this, right? In football, unless it's a quarterback, I wouldn't buy their jersey, right? You're going to get 3 years at the absolute most. You look at what Jackson Cheerio has left with the Milwaukee Brewers. You are just under contract. You look at his age. You look at his upside as still getting better at such a young age. It's incredible to watch, and I think that's one of the coolest parts about baseball itself. If fans listening, just let us kind of, nerd out a little bit on watching some of these players come through the system.
Yeah.
In football, you don't really see it. If you're a first-round pick, you're going to play right away. You probably didn't watch them in college. It just is what it is, right? In basketball, very rarely do you get the Giannis story, where we meet you at such a young age, as a teenager at 18. And in the NBA, it's like either you're playing right away or you'll probably bounce around a little bit, whatever. Giannis has been, we met you at 18, and he has grown up with us, essentially, and now he is who he is. In baseball, Dom, in your role especially, you get to meet these guys when they're about to have a AAA season. You see that depth, you see that development over the couple of seasons, and then you're able to see, all right, now Jackson's in the big leagues. Mizorowski, surprise to a lot of average fans, the Brewers had this, and you've been watching him kind of come up. Tell me a little bit about that and just, being able to watch a fan develop or a player develop over time.
Yeah, I mean, that's how a team like the Brewers has to operate. That's how you have to be able to learn how to develop, draft, scout, be able to say, these are the players that we want to identify, keep them on our big league team while they're, effectively cost controlled, right? when you're in the big leagues, your first 3 years in the show, you're essentially making big league minimum, but then there's the pre-arbitration bonus pool that guys like Bryce Terang, Sal Frelick are subject to. They get a little extra cash on top of that before they make it to arbitration. So those first 4 or 5 years in the big leagues are so important for you to maintain and to understand how to make sure that you bear fruit from your draft. So you think of the mix on this team. Bryce Terang's a first-round pick. You think of a guy like Robert Gassler, who was acquired while he was in the minor leagues in that Josh Hader deal. He is starting in tonight's game.
Is that where they got him?
In the Josh Hader deal.
We're going to revisit that at some point in today's show. We're here with you till 5. Sorry to interrupt,
you're
but
good.
The more and more that the details of that trade and what they got, what they traded away to bring in Contreras, that deal to me is still fascinating in Brewers history, but my bad. Keep going.
Well, I mean, on top of that, Mizorowski, homegrown, drafted and brought up. Sal Frelick, first-round pick, drafted and brought up. Isaac Collins, minor league Rule 5 pick. Essentially, he was a minor league free agent that the Brewers brought in. Blake Perkins was a minor league free agent. They brought him in. Jake Bowers had been a journeyman, and they bring him back on a minor league deal in spring training, and he's now going to be on this postseason roster. The point being, Andrew Vaughn traded in the middle of the year. Quinn Priester in the middle of the year. This team understands, hey, that aisle with all the truffle oil and the expensive all the expensive liquor, we can't shop in that aisle. That's okay. But you can still make a really good soup with some great ingredients over here, some great fresh fruit. Like, that's how the Brewers operate, and it's the envy of every organization. So, I mean, like, look at the New York Mets right now. The Mets are leading right now, but they are praying for their baseball lives with the second highest payroll in baseball. The Dodgers aren't going to have a bye with the highest payroll in baseball. That's why this is so impressive.
I know the way the season ended last year. That's not relevant to the point I want to make here. But what was the Brewers' record against that highest payroll in Dodger or in baseball?
That is a 6 followed by a 0.
So we got to get to break. But I'll admit, as a fan, I've been there in the just pay people. Mark Ananazio, sign the big contract, make the big deal. Not because I didn't have faith in Matt Arnold and even going back to David Stearns, but just because it always seems to me like baseball is the Royals and the Rays and teams like that who've done it before. They were like the outlier, and it's always been like, I just want a World Series so bad. How can I get it? Look, I'm over it. I'm done yelling about spending because they have proven 6 out of the last 7 years you got to get invited to the dance, and they've got there. And, like, yeah, everyone wanted a big bat. Have you seen what Eugenio Suarez has done since the trade deadline?
Pretty much nothing.
Not a ton. You see what the Brewers did at the trade deadline? They got Brandon Woodruff back. He had great.
But, like, on your point about the money, though, like, some of the money isn't public as far as what they're spending on tech and development and people behind the scenes, training staffs, that sort of thing. To make sure these guys are healthy, minor league development, facilities in the minor leagues, what they spent in the Dominican Republic, all of that stuff goes into to say, hey, would you rather spend $20 million on one guy to play for your team for one season, or do you want to spend $20 million kind of spread the wealth across the farm, because that's how you're going to continue to churn, and that's how the Brewers operate.
And the Brewers have proven time and time again that they are in a great spot. They're ready to compete. They're just. I think this team is just ready, and I say that as we go into the second hour of Brewers warm-up, where all season long it was make the big trade, put yourself in contention, sign the big free agent, put yourself in contention. Guess what? The homegrown roster that Dom just eloquently broke down there for everyone is the reason that we are here and the reason that we're celebrating Fan Appreciation Day, and that the fact that people showed up at 4 a.m. for pancakes in this parking lot yesterday.
How cool was that?
I mean, you're not going to get that anywhere else. The Milwaukee Brewers are an absolute gem, and we are extremely lucky to cover this team, to root for this team, to be here today on behalf of the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin, Annex Wealth Management, Boucher Automotive, and Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Hour 2 of this special edition of Brewers Warm-Up live from AmFam Field coming up next.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Jen Latta here from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Fall in Wisconsin means football season, crisp evenings, apple orchards, and pumpkin patches. But it is also one of the best times to sell your home. With serious buyers looking and fewer homes on the market, you could score a deal before winter hits with the We Sell Group. Don't delay until chaos hits in the spring. The We Sell Group is ready to give your home a home field advantage so it gets sold this fall. The We Sell Group, helping Wisconsinites score big in their next chapter. Get started with Rob and Nick at wesell.kw.com.
Want to play your best golf ever? The Wisconsin Country Club just launched WCC Performance Academy, powered by Catalyst Golf Performance and Aritas Physical Therapy. TrackMan, 3D Motion, Miha EMS, everything to move better, feel stronger, and shoot lower scores. Train like a pro or like an athlete. Play pain-free. I'm ESPN Milwaukee's Gabe Neitzel. Become a member at Wisconsin Country Club like I did. No assessments, no minimums, and a beautiful, challenging course and great corporate membership opportunities, plus tennis, pickleball, and a pool. Visit thewisconsincountryclub.com. Just a fairway away.
The vibrant fall colors and cooler temperatures make for great days out on the golf course. The Island invites you to experience the best of fall golf with late season rounds at Sweetgrass or Sage Run. Fall golf rates run through the end of the 2025 season, with tee times starting at $75 and stay and play packages from $125. And submit your 2026 golf package requests early to guarantee choice dates. Plan your fall golf adventure today at islandresortgolf.com.
This is Brian Balaga. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN.
94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. While it's already been a season to remember,
Fly ball to deep right. It is back. Soto back. Out of here. Can you count to 14? It's a franchise record for the Milwaukee Brewers.
the story is still being written. It's time to gear up for the postseason. This is Brewers Specialty Saturday. Broadcasting live from American Family Field, here's Dom Catronio and Tony Cartagena.
Hour 2, special edition of Brewers warm-up here on 94.5 ESPN, presented by the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin. As big voice guy just told you, I'm Tony Cartagena with Dom Catronio, our Milwaukee Brewers expert. I call him Encyclopedia in the first hour, and he accurately said no one can spell encyclopedia, which actually makes a lot of sense. And I'm for sure not going to try to spell it live on the radio today in front of everyone listening. Couldn't be in a better place for the next hour as fans are already lined up. I don't know what time doors open today.
90 minutes before. So coming up here in about 25 minutes.
All right, so fans have been lined up at the door since before we got on the air today. We got on the air at 3 o'clock. All because there's an amazing tumbler giveaway, and that's just one of the incredible giveaways that the Milwaukee Brewers have done all season long. As I'm looking across, I see a fan wearing the Giannis Antetokounmpo Brewers jersey that was given away last season. I think that was presented by 620 WTMJ. And it's just so much fun to be a fan of the Milwaukee Brewers. It's more than just baseball. It truly is a family. It's a relationship. It's breakfast in the Yount parking lot on a Friday morning with Pat Murphy, Donald Driver, the racing sausages. Dom, I know you cover the ins and outs of the team on a day-to-day basis. Do those guys in the locker room, they feel this relationship, they feel this culture, they feel this love that is much more than just a, hey, we're going to go cheer for the Yankees from the first inning to the ninth inning. This is we're going to go and buy 1,000 bottles of Pat Murphy's special maple syrup at a tailgate party, and it's going to sell out as it did yesterday.
You know, I was talking to Murph about it earlier in the week leading up to the announcement of like, hey, are you excited? Like, what are you expecting? I really don't know what to expect. And then he was retelling the story yesterday of, coming in here to the ballpark, like coming around from the far side of Brewers Way and coming from like the south side and from the east side of the ballpark and coming back around here toward the outlot and like not knowing what to expect. And then boom, the big reveal once you get past the ballpark and you see the line of cars and you see the sea of people at 6 a.m. to have pancakes with the manager and Robin and Donald Driver. Like, that's insane to actually think about it for a second on a Friday morning that this team just wants to have a couple pancakes from their manager.
So we're going to hear from another player in a second here who is beloved by the team and another member of that team, Ricky Weeks, going back to, even his rookie year, but going back to his importance in the run in 2011, back with the team as associate manager and, what he's meant to them. Dom, you got to get some time with Ricky, so looking forward to hearing that in just a couple of minutes. But we go back. So that pancake breakfast yesterday, that was all because when the Brewers were on Apple TV in Washington, is it Trisha Whitaker?
Whitaker, yes.
I want to give her flowers and the props that she is due, all the credit, all the royalties, although that check, sorry, Trisha, is not going to come from me directly, because what her interview sparked in the city of Milwaukee, I know I stole content from it when I had Sal Frelick with Thanasis and myself on Thanalysis. We asked Sal, you're in the outfield, what food would you keep in your pocket? And we thought it was peanut butter and jelly or a hot dog would be best for an outfielder. But, we had a whole pancake breakfast the other day because of the question and the interview that she did on a random Friday night in Washington. And I swear that just doesn't happen in any other city.
By the way, that started the 14-game winning streak. That was game one. That was game one of the 14-game winning streak.
All right.
How funny is that?
Seriously, Milwaukee Brewers, I got an idea for you. Next week, when the team is here in the playoffs, clearly there is some good luck involved. Can Trisha get here to throw out a first pitch, an honorary something? Can we put her in a suite?
She used to be a reporter up in Green Bay as well.
She needs to be
TV.
Reporting in Milwaukee during the NLDS. Let's get her on ESPN Milwaukee. Brian D., Craig Karmazin, get Trisha on the phone. We need her for a World Series run.
And quite frankly, the Brewers could be some day games coming up in the playoffs, given away with all the big markets that are in it. So they're going to make, we're so used to in the division series, the Brewers are among the first teams to play every year. But then one other backstory on the pocket pancake thing is that this has been like a well-known thing in the baseball world that Murph likes to joke around and likes to mess with his players. And even in the minor leagues back when he was with the Padres, AAA in El Paso, the phrase, he's always wearing a hoodie, so he's got the kangaroo pouch, and he's like, he'd go up to somebody and just pull out from that pouch, hey, you want a pocket bagel? And it'd be dead serious, deadpan, just no hesitation. You want a pocket bagel? And it'd be like, no, Murph, I don't want a pocket bagel. Just trying to keep things light. And that's something I think about with, obviously, Bob Uecker. That was one of his phrases, keep it light, keep it fresh. And I think Pat Murphy's obviously right team, right guy, right place, right time to be able to be, somebody that keeps this young team on their toes, and the veterans can have a chuckle every now and then at Murph's expense, so it's really fun.
I love it. I think it's the absolute best. If Pat Murphy offered me food from his pocket,
don't answer this honestly.
No, 100% I would take it.
Oh my goodness,
without question.
You don't know where that's been.
See, I'm not the smartest human being in the world.
I went to state school.
I was unlucky enough as a child, if someone had been like, hey, I have food this way, follow me, I probably would have gone to get that hot dog from the grill. Like that, I love food. And when Trisha did the interview, I bet it was awkward to be offered food from someone's pocket, but she ate it and became a viral sensation and basically part of the team, part of the Milwaukee Brewers family. I've interviewed Pat Murphy now twice. One time we were in the dugout before the playoff games last year when we were doing some Thanalysis stuff. And then we had him on Thanalysis in his office. And not one time has he offered me food from his pocket, and I'm a little offended now.
You got to get in the circle of trust for that.
I need to get in the – do you know what? That is my goal for the 2026 season when Murph is back here next year as a reigning World Series champ and a two-time NL Manager of the Year. I'm going to get in that circle of trust and get offered a pocket bagel.
Know who is in the circle of trust? Ricky Weeks Jr., our next guest.
Ricky Weeks Jr., part of the circle of trust. That's why Dom is a pro. A great transition. We teased earlier in the show you're going to hear from Ricky Weeks at 4:10. It is exactly 4:10. As we go to break, an exclusive interview, Dom Catronio, Ricky Weeks Jr. with Dom on – you recorded
just
this today?
Earlier today. We were just hanging out in the dugout enjoying a coffee together.
A couple minutes ago, interview Ricky Weeks and Dom over coffee. Take a listen.
Welcome back here on ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Dom Catronio. Tony Cartagena joins us in just a moment. Right now, we're with Ricky Weeks Jr. Ricky, congratulations, another division title for your club, and this is 2 for 2 now for you in the associate manager role with Pat Murphy. Just take me through this season, just sort of in a 30,000-foot view of just, holy cow, you guys have a chance to be the best record in the majors and yet another division title.
Yeah, no, and it definitely feels good to be in this position. We talk about every year is different from the other, but when it boils down to it, we do have success. You don't take it for granted. But yes, it's been 2 years in a row for us to get into this position. Now a little bit better than last year, I guess. You could probably say right now, but at the same time, we're just fortunate to be in the position now that we are in right now.
Going back to St. Louis last weekend and getting the chance to celebrate and getting to see the guys go through it, you look around that locker room and you realize there are a lot of young guys that are pretty used to winning right now on this club. And maybe in your earlier years you could sense it coming, but there had to be some failures before you guys broke through, and having that understanding of how to win. Right. Do you think this team understands what that has become and how important that has been for this club to learn to win? I mean, I think of guys like Bryce and Sal that don't know any different. Right.
No, for sure. I think so. You can also take that wild card series last year as somewhat of experience or learning experience for that matter. But I think in totality, I think these guys have come up in a winning tradition here for a little bit now. So these guys are not used to not winning, if that makes sense. So I think going forward, I think it's always stepping stones. It's always a process to everything. And so I think, breaking that ice, I guess last year, getting to a position to win the division, to get in a wild card spot, to play against the Mets, and we didn't come out on top there. But I think going forward this year, I think a lot of those learned experiences that you get kind of fast forward. There's a fast track into this year, knowing that we're here for a reason because we did our job, we worked hard, but also there's more work to be done, I think, too.
What have you seen from this club? And you say every year is different, obviously, in the experience that you can take. What are the things that you identify that say, okay, this is the one these are the things that can help push through and be that team that, gets through a playoff series this October?
Well, you really can't put your finger on one thing, but I think the first thing that comes to my mind is confidence. I think last year we had confidence, know we can do it, but I think this year how we kind of went about things, we didn't really panic early on in the year. The guys showed resiliency, so that goes a long way when you have players like that, and we have a clubhouse full of those guys. So now fast forward to now, the playoffs coming up. I think there's a sense of resiliency. There's a sense of, ownership. There's a sense of competitiveness that I think we saw a little bit more this year than last year, maybe. But again, we had it last year, but we just didn't get over the hump. So all things being said, I think these guys are ready to go.
We're chatting with Ricky Weeks Jr. here on ESPN Milwaukee. So, Ricky, you're working with Murph again, and you're associate manager. We've seen you up and down talking to the guys and having the, sort of the conversations with Murph, with the players, whatever. With your role, how have you grown in this role as now second year on the big league staff? How have you enjoyed it, and what are the things that you have been learning and appreciating about being on the coaching side of the big league level?
We all talk about it all the time. I know I'm hell-bent on it. It's all about the players. You don't want to step out too much and talk about your own personal, track or personal accomplishments or anything like that, because in this business, you always side to the players. We win ball games because of players. If you lose, maybe it's because of the staff. Who knows? But that's the reality about it, and that's what we got to deal with. But it really has been a joy, though. Being behind Murph and just a system where I can assist. And just going to just being there for the players if they have questions, if things arise, just being that that second man to the right of Murph and just to help out any way I can.
You've seen a lot of playoff baseball here in Milwaukee, obviously. What does it mean to you to actually be on this staff and have the chance to maybe be the team that has the most wins? Obviously, we know that 2011 team was pretty darn good, but now you have a chance to surpass that club this year. What does that mean to you?
No, it means a lot, but honestly, I don't think about it, to be honest with you. Again, every year is different, and we could have won 90 wins and still won a division or had the best record in baseball, but we don't. But at the same time, the records are made to be broken, obviously. I hope we do it, to be honest with you. But at the same time, it's the players have done a great job of putting themselves in a position of winning, and I'm just happy to be here for it.
Ricky Weeks Jr. joining us here on ESPN Milwaukee. Appreciate the time, Ricky. Hopefully we're talking all deep into October, all right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Don. Appreciate it.
More Specialty Brewers Saturday coming up next on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Even though it's not the season of giving, we still want to thank Jerry for his gift.
His golf's being chased by Parsons. Look out. He's got him. His first sack
as a Green Bay Packer.
Get all your green and gold coverage leading up to Packers versus Cowboys on Sunday Night Football right here. 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Micah. The power of friendship has spawned a memorable baseball season in Milwaukee. When you choose to work with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, the relationship is more than what feels like having a friend. Pella honors trust and commitment on your behalf before, during, and after the sale. They take those values to heart with every person the Pella team works with. It's natural to feel a little apprehensive about having someone visit your home, but take it from me and my wife. The brilliant Pella designers immediately put you at ease with their experience and professionalism. We love that initial visit, along with how easy they made it to envision bringing our project to life. Pella is committed to being the company everyone wants to do business with, and they've certainly lived up to that and more. And with this month's incredible deal, Gina Della from Pella is here to share why you shouldn't wait to order new windows and doors.
Order today and get 0% interest for up to 60 months. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 9/30/2025.
It's a bird bash at Potawatomi. Thursdays, you could win up to $50,000 cash in the Bird Bash game show. Just play with your rewards card this October for a chance to win. Wouldn't you like to rake in a huge pile of cash? Bird Bash, only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info at potawatomi.com/birdbash. Must be 21 years old to play.
Milwaukee College Prep, redefining what's educationally possible so more children can pursue their dream. Join me, Craig Karmazin, and Milwaukee College Prep Thursday, October 23rd at Venue 3 at the 3rd Street Market Hall, and take a stand in closing the opportunity gap for Milwaukee scholars. Your support means quality education is accessible to over 2,000 scholars in Milwaukee. Enjoy food, drinks, and a chance to learn more. Purchase tickets at 2025 takeastand.givesmart.com. That's 2025 takeastand.givesmart.com.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night, so for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
At Hazelden Betty Ford, treating mental health isn't just about breaking old patterns, it's about braving new ones. As the leader in alcohol and drug treatment for 75 years, we know caring for addiction, anxiety, depression, and trauma goes hand in hand. We're here for you with new tools when life breaks down. Discover your path to better mental health at hazeldenbettyford.org/Wisconsin. Sponsored by Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right, and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything, from the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
This is Specialty Brewers Saturday on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Special edition of Brewers warm-up here, 94.5 ESPN. Would not be possible without our partners over at NX Wealth Management, Boucher Automotive, Delta Dental of Wisconsin, and the team that I've been calling the real MVP all show, the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin. And why are they the MVP? Because professional athletes like Christian Yelich trust Neurospine Center of Wisconsin, where surgeon Dr. Brandon Rebholz is to thank for helping get Milwaukee's MVP back on the field. How about that? We're able to shout out even the surgeon, Dr. Rebholz over at Neurospine Center of Wisconsin, that got our guy Christian Yelich back into MVP shape as he has 29 home runs and 100 RBI on the season. Tony Cartagena, Dom Cotroneo with you live from AmFam Field.
This is a really fun time right now just because You can feel the attention. The Packers are good. I'm not taking anything away from the Packers.
We can celebrate the Brewers without having to throw that out there.
It feels like the entire state, sorry Badgers, is now going, this is it. This is the thing. This is the year. This is the event. This is what everybody wants to talk about.
Yep.
They have the bye. They have a chance to be the number one record in all of baseball. They have home field advantage all the way through, even to the World Series. I've been saying this for a couple of weeks now. If not this team, if not now, then when? They've been every variety that you want to be going into the postseason. 2018, ridiculously hot at the end of the season, sneak in with 163, make it to the CS. 2019, bad luck, Yella gets hurt, losing the wild card round. 2020 didn't happen, I don't even remember it. 2021, bad luck again, poor decisions by a certain reliever that impacted it. The offense wasn't that great either that year too. 2022, didn't make the playoffs. Man, what do you do? Reset button. How do you do this? 2023, letting it ride with, feeling like you got a shot, then the gut punch of Woodruff not being available. 2024, last year, you're 3 outs away. So it's like, if not now, then when? This feels like, I hate to be sort of, end of it all and like, oh, God, what's it going to be? This is the book. Like, the book is about to close as far as the Freddie, Woody, Yelly era to say that all three of those guys are on the same team. We don't know what Woody's status is yet for the postseason, but to have Freddie for one more year of control, you still got Yelly.
I was just
going to
ask you,
years.
What's Freddie's contract look like?
I think Freddie's staying put.
Okay.
I would be shocked if they trade him, given the value you get out of him for the money that you're paying him. He's going to get a bonus for Cy Young finish this year, but to me, it's like, this is the team.
Okay.
This is what it's supposed to be. This is what it's built for.
Magic Brew is what we're rolling with here as part of the Milwaukee Brewers slogan for the 2025 playoff run. And, I mean, we're going to have a sellout crowd here or close to it on a beautiful Saturday night. It's Fan Appreciation Day.
22 sellouts this year. Let's talk about that for a second.
Is that what the number
22
was?
sellouts. Shout out to the city of Milwaukee. Shout out to all of Wisconsin, even Northern Illinois. 22 sellouts, a quarter of your games sold out.
Here, and one of those was like a Wednesday afternoon because Miz was pitching.
Right,
that's
Miz
insane.
Skeens.
And here's one of the things I think goes under talked about. That's not a real phrase, but whatever. In Milwaukee for baseball fans, this city, I've lived other cities. You can see the market size. You can see a lot of things. This city isn't naturally just made of money, right? We're in the Midwest. It's blue collar. It's not Chicago. It's factory workers. It's families that have lived here, for multiple generations. But when we care about something as a city, man, do we show up for it. And the Milwaukee Brewers are one of those things where you figure out the finances to get in the building, whether it's the Euchre seat or sitting next to front row Amy. Our fans here are unbelievably loyal to everything Milwaukee Brewers, and it's incredible to see, not only in the ballpark, but there is not a corner tavern on the south side and the north side and the west side that will not have the Milwaukee Brewers on at first pitch today, first pitch tomorrow, first pitch next week, and they have been doing so all season long, and it is absolutely incredible. And I do think we have to recognize that the fans here, I mean, I don't know. Is this state ready for a World Series? Could we handle one?
I mean, you know this, but, tell me about this. I've said this over and over and over again. Obviously, there's that separation of Milwaukee and Green Bay, gold package, green package, whatever. But the point being, we saw it with the Bucks in 21, and we saw the Deer District, and we saw the parade and everything like that.
I still get chills just thinking about that.
I still believe and contend from the highest mountaintop I could find that if the Brewers win the World Series, double it. Double it.
I don't disagree. I mean, and love the Bucks and all the fans that support the Milwaukee Bucks.
And it's not a knock on the Bucks.
No, but Pfizer Forum sells out all the time. We get to watch Giannis. That's 18 to 20,000. A sellout here is 42, 43. It's just a bigger crowd. We had yesterday, I don't know what the number was at the Bucks championship parade, what the Deer District was. I know we were looking at probably six figures.
Right.
Massive fans. We had yesterday, Marty Ronsky was on with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy in the morning on 94.5 ESPN, and I believe she said she met a couple, I want to say from Janesville, but it might have even been further than that left their house without sleeping. They're like, do you know what? We're going to have to wake up so early, sleep, just whatever. We'll sleep tomorrow. to come down, there wasn't a game they were staying for.
Right.
It was to go and have pancake breakfast with the manager. And, man, the fans here just show up. The fans here are smart. The fans here are engaged. Whether it's the tailgate culture, the sausage races, whatever they're into, people just like to have a good time and celebrate our team, the Milwaukee Brewers, who are the back-to-back-to-back NL Central champions. Tony Cartagena, Dom Cotroneo with you live from the parking lot of AmFam Field. As I said, the Milwaukee Brewers couldn't do this without all the great fans. We wouldn't be able to do shows like today without our partners over at the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin, so got to shout them out, as well as Annex Wealth Management, Boucher Automotive, and Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Dom, I want to ask you before we get to break, and then I want fans to chime in. We want to hear from you in the last half hour of this show. The Brewers started the year off miserable. We had people on our airwaves, cough, cough, Jesse Nelson of Wilde and Tausch, questioning Pat Murphy's employment status with the Milwaukee Brewers earlier this season. Overreaction, yes, but it was still said on our airwaves, so I got to address it. They turned that thing around fast, quick, and in a hurry. Yeah. They are now at 96 wins, one more win, and that will be the most wins that any Brewers team has ever had in the history of this great franchise. Was there a moment, Dom, for you, because I have one, but I want to hear yours first. Was there a moment for you, being in the clubhouse daily, covering every single game, watching them as close as you do, where you kind of just sat back and you were like, this team might really be something?
For me, there were two moments that stick out. You had two closed-door meetings early in the season. They had that back-to-back shutouts, Tampa Bay, Cleveland. They had that rough road trip there. They have another closed-door meeting, and Sal Friedka and I talked about that just about. It wasn't, like, contentious or anything, but it was just somebody needed to say the quiet part out loud that we're not playing well enough. We're not playing our game. We're not providing each other energy. And then what you saw the next day when the Brewers won the finale is Sal throwing his helmet after hitting a home run and yelling at the guys, like, in a positive light.
Are you able to say what he said?
Look at me, of just sort of like, this is the energy. I'm the smallest bleeping guy on the field, and I just went over the fence. Where the heck are you guys? That was the first moment.
Fired up,
like,
Sal.
Like, I loved that. The second moment to me was when the Dodgers were here in July. And the team was playing well at that point. Obviously, they're chasing down the Cubs. They're still behind. When the Dodgers were here, and remember that Miz game, right? This is after they blew out Yamamoto and Andrew Vaughn arrived and all that stuff. That Miz game on July 8th. The Brewers were still 2.5 back of the Cubs. And gives up a leadoff homer to Shohei Ohtani. Yep. And you're like, oh, boy, all right. Here comes the pumpkin. No, he turns in 6 strong, 12 punchies. The Brewers come back to win. And then Koenig and Uribe and McGill slam the door, and they win a 3-run game against the defending champs. And I'm like, whoa, that was incredible. That was awesome. And then finally, easily could have had a hangover game the next day. Hey, you won the series. It's hard to sweep the Dodgers. They go and sweep them on a walk-off. That week in July.
That walk-off game was special.
That week in July made me realize, whoa, there's something here in Milwaukee.
Was there a moment this season where you looked at the Milwaukee Brewers and you said, all right, this team might be about it. This team might be the one that gets it done, especially after that 0-4 start where Jesse Nelson was calling for Pat Murphy's job here in Milwaukee. Dom, yours and mine are very, very similar. There was a mid-start against the Cubs, and I don't know if it was a 3-run home run, but he gave up 3 runs in the first inning. And it really reminded me, and this is just being a baseball nerd, it reminded me of a couple years back when Aaron Ashby was first coming up. He had a game also against the Cubs where he got rocked in the first inning. And I think the Brewers at one point found themselves down like 5-6-0 in that one very, very early. Very similar to the Miz game this year where they got down 3-0 early. And I think this was right after he had given up 5 or so runs to the Mets, and people were like, ooh, we might have been too hype on him after his first. And the Brewers battled back against Chicago, of all teams, the team that they ended up surpassing and beating for the NL Central. And it wasn't, I don't remember the day of the week. It wasn't one of those games where you're like, oh, that was incredible. But there are small moments on any sports team where you look at how a team bounces back. And you look at how a team is, to what Ricky Week said during your interview that we just heard, resilient and competitive. And I look back at that game because of who it was against, because of who is managing that team, who you had on the mound, and I'm like, yep, that was the moment for me where I looked at this team and I was like, I don't care if Caleb Durbin is 5'7". I don't care if Sal Frelick doesn't come up to your shoulders, right? They don't look like the Aaron Judges and the 6'4" Shoheis of the world, but they are just a team that is going to win ball games, and that is what I absolutely love about this Milwaukee Brewers squad. You are listening to Brewers Warm Up, a special edition here on 94.5 ESPN, brought to you by the real MVP, the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin, who helped Christian Yelich return to MVP form. Also presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin, Boucher Automotive, and our team over at Annex Wealth Management. Just 30 minutes left. The show has flown by, Dom. Coming up on the other side, you're listening to Brewers Warm Up here on 94.5 ESPN.
More Specialty Brewers Saturday coming up next on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Escape to Lake Lawn Resort in Delavan, Wisconsin, where everything is better at the lake. Dive into endless outdoor activities, including boating, fishing, and paddleboarding on the serene Delavan Lake. Tee off at the lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course, or unwind in the award-winning Calidora Spa. Enjoy gourmet meals at 1878 on the lake, casual bites at the Lookout Bar and Eatery, and sweet treats at the Isle of Capri Cafe. Explore Delavan Lake's stunning shores and historic landmarks from the comfort of their 76-foot cruise boat, the Lake Lawn Queen. Book your stay today at LakeLawnResort.com.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
The annual Catholic Memorial High School open house is Sunday, October 12th. Become part of the CMH tradition and make plans now to attend from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on October 12th. Register at CatholicMemorial.net. Awarded for academic excellence, a rich tradition of athletic success, and an experience rooted in faith. Find out how your student can achieve more at CMH. Tour the school, meet the faculty and coaches, learn all about the opportunities available for your student. Register today at CatholicMemorial.net. Catholic Memorial High School, where you rise.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Did you know Love was born November 2nd? Did you know Love was raised in Bakersfield, California? Did you know Love played college football at Utah State? Are you looking for lots of Love touchdowns the rest of this football season? Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor, where we love being your one-stop shop for everything alcohol-related. With our selection of over 15,000 varieties of beer, wine, liquor, and mixers, all at the lowest prices in town, Discount Liquor has all your tailgating needs covered. We are your football party beverage headquarters. Discount Liquor, 2 locations, Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow and Maine.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
See all of our weekly specials at DiscountLiquorInc.com.
In the Midwest, we know the real deal on the field and in your wellness routine. Higher Love Cannabis Company in Menominee, Michigan offers top-tier Michigan-grown CBD products, no shortcuts, no synthetic knockoffs, just clean, green certified, organically grown CBD crafted for fans who expect the best. Whether you're gearing up for the game or winding down after a win, swing through Higher Love just across the Wisconsin border and experience the highest quality CBD in the Midwest. Higher Love, the real deal, no limitations. Visit findhigherlove.com/CBD.
Is back pain slowing you down? When it comes to spine care, you need specialized expertise. At the OAW Spine Center, their orthopedic care specialists provide the highest level of care for everything from herniated discs to spinal fusion. They start with the most conservative, non-surgical treatments like physical therapy and injections. If surgery is needed, minimally invasive procedures at the OAW Spine Center will get you back on your feet faster. With a focus on treating the source of the problem, they take a comprehensive, active approach to spine health, getting you back to the life you love. The OAW Spine Center. There is a difference. Visit OAWspinecenter.com. That's OAWSpineCenter.com.
This is Specialty Brewers Saturday on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
I think the gates are opening in a couple of minutes. I see fans starting to walk. I mean, the lines here are so long as fans are getting ready for
Get your tumblers
their
here.
tumblers. Any fan wants to bring me one of those, preferably filled with something cold, to give you a shout-out on the air.
I think I just saw my favorite jersey, though. I'm sorry I have to interrupt.
No. Interrupt. Jersey talk here with Dom Catronio.
Peter Strzelecki jersey. How about that?
You're going to have to educate, let's just say the fans. Obviously, I know who this is, but for the fans who don't know, who are we talking about here?
Reliever called up, minor league journeyman, 21, 22, was traded to the Diamondbacks. I mean, like, Peter Strzelecki, 32, the previous guy to wear 32 before Savali and Mizorowski.
That is talk and references you will only get here on Brewers Warm Up, a special edition here, 94.5 ESPN. And we wouldn't be here without our great team over at the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin. Want to give a thank you, a shout out, a round of applause to our team over there. Angie, Anna, Dr. Rebholz, Dr. Greenberg, Dr. Washer, and all the providers at Neurospine Center of Wisconsin for their partnership with us all season long, and more importantly, for helping fix the back and neck pain of our fans and our favorite athletes, like Christian Yelich, who trusted the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin for his recovery. Dr. Rebholz over there got our guy Christian back in MVP form as he has 29 home runs, looking for number 30 today, hitting leadoff, and 100-plus RBI. Make sure you don't ignore that nagging back pain. Go to your virtual second opinion today from our friends over at ncswi.com. Let me tell you that again, ncswi.com. Be like Christian Yelich. Visit the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin. I'm Tony Cartagena. Dom Catronio is with me. He's on Jersey watch here in the parking lot of AmFam Field. Fans are going in, getting their tumblers on Fan Appreciation Day. The cookouts, the tailgates are smelling incredible here. And we're, 30 minutes left in this show. And Dom, real quick on the jersey that you just saw. What was the name again?
Peter Strzelecki.
Do you think it was a family member that had it? Or do you think they got it, like, at auction? Like, where do
has to have been a
because it was not a
sale.
team store available,
Had to
right?
have been a warehouse sale, for sure.
That's always fun. The Brewers, I know your role is a little bit different, but as a Brewers fan, people come here. It's usually in winter, maybe after the holiday, maybe right before the holidays. They have, like, the garage sale, essentially, where you can get Brewers T-shirts for like 99 cents,
exactly.
hoodies for $5. It's just the best. It's always so much fun.
I saw a Dinelson Lamet jersey there at last year's
sale. I know that one.
Well, Dinelson Lamet famously didn't throw a pitch for the Brewers. He was active for exactly one game.
Yep.
But those are the kind of jerseys I love to see. Those make me smile.
One of the ones we see a ton of walking in today, Elly De La Cruz. He plays for the Cincinnati Reds, one of the most exciting players in all of baseball. If you're just a fan of the game itself, that's Elly De La Cruz of the Cincinnati Reds. They are hanging on for dear life to make the postseason. The Brewers have been here before. The Brewers in 2008, they needed a little bit of help. They got it. They got into the postseason, really changed the trajectory of the franchise. Dom, you're more locked in than anyone I know. What do the Reds need to have happen today and tomorrow here at AmFam Field and with the New York Mets in order for the Cincinnati Reds to make the MLB postseason?
Well, the simplest way for the Reds to get in is just win. If they win the next two games, they're in.
No matter what.
It does not matter what the Mets do. However, the Mets are currently up 2-0 on the Marlins right now in the top of the sixth inning. I may be thinking, oh, cool, they got this. That's not the problem. The bullpen's the problem for the Mets. So that game is far from over right now. Stay tuned. So let's say the Mets do hang on to win that game.
Okay.
That forces the Reds to win tonight to keep control of their fate, meaning all they got to do is win out. Now, if the Mets win and the Reds lose tonight, all of a sudden the ball is back in the Mets' court, meaning that the Brewers can keep the Reds out of the postseason if they end up losing both of these games. So the tiebreaker goes to the Reds right now if they end up tied with the Mets and the Reds. The Reds currently have control, but it can be flipped in the blink of an eye if the Mets hang on to win that one and the Brewers win tonight.
I'm so torn on this, and I know it doesn't matter. The Brewers are in. They're 1 win away from 97 for the franchise record. That will also, the magic number being 1, to get them home field throughout with the best record in baseball. I'm torn because I really like Ellie and the Reds, just as from a baseball perspective, and I'm over the New York market. I want Cincinnati just to get in. Yeah, the Mets, whatever. It's New York. It's Pete Alonso. It's Lindor. It's everyone that you see in the MLB commercials. Right. You don't see a lot of the Cincinnati Reds in those commercials, maybe outside of Ellie, but still not even a ton there. I want the Reds to get in, but I also really want the Brewers to get number 97.
Well, the Reds' biggest offseason acquisition was their manager, Tito Francona. And, you think of what the Reds have been going through. They obviously lost their franchise icon at the very end of last season in Pete Rose. They've had a long, long drought without a playoff series win. They haven't won a playoff series since the 90s.
It's been that long?
They have the longest active drought in baseball of a postseason series win, not just appearance, but series win. So, yeah, it would be exciting for Cincinnati to just be such a baseball town. And like I said earlier, for the Brewers to win the division, that could be the only division that has 3 teams in the postseason. That would be a great feather in the Brewers' cap. And on the
elite of the elites,
and on the franchise record and wins and all that stuff, yeah, it would be cool to get to 97 wins. You know what would be cooler? A pennant. That's the only thing that really matters right now.
So I have some friends who are big fans of the Cleveland Guardians. I lived in Cleveland for a couple years, and it had to be 20, maybe I'll just say 2018, 2017, doesn't matter. They had 100 wins in the regular season, and I want to say they got swept. They might have got a win by the Yankees in the opening round of their playoff season. And I remember I was with them watching the final game, and they just said, I can't believe they wasted a 100-win season. And I remember that because in my head at that time, I think this was pre-Yelich.
Right.
It's the Brewers are never going to have that problem, right? We're good. We're going to have 100 wins anytime soon. And it was one of those, there's no banner. There's no banner in the outfield for 100 wins. There's no celebration for 97 because this team is destined for more than that. So as cool as it would be, I'm fine if they don't get it. It would be fun to say this team won more than any other team in franchise history. How about we win one more game than the 82 team did and do it in the postseason? Win one more game than that team did in the postseason and actually make some pretty good franchise history. That's what would excite me as a fan, obviously, because that parade, whether it's down Canal, down Wisconsin, we'll pass Pato on the way. I don't know if the city is ready for that parade.
And then furthermore, on the win front, and I think of the 16 Golden State Warriors, 73-9.
Yeah.
Don't mean a thing without the ring.
That's true. They got to Game 7. LeBron and Kyrie took care of them. Let's hope Christian Yelich, Bryce Terang, Freddie Peralta, and company can take care of business in the postseason. I'm almost to the point now. See, this is Dom. We haven't hosted together before. I talk myself into a million different directions over the course of a show. It's probably a character flaw, a hosting flaw of mine. But now I'm thinking, if they don't get 97, I'm cool. Obviously I want them to get the World Series. I really want Yelich to get number 30.
Me too.
And I think that's just because of what he means to this city and this organization and how he has helped personally them make the playoffs in 6 or 7 years to three-peat back-to-back-to-back NL Central championships. I really want to see Yelich hit 30 home runs and 100 RBI in a season. People wrote him off. He was done. He was injured. The knee, the back. Then he hit up the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin. Everyone said they would trade him or he's not playing up to his contract and he makes too much money. Christian Yelich has been a boss this season. He has been that guy on the field, in the locker room for Pat Murphy. Pat Murphy can't stop singing his praises anytime he gets asked about him. For Christian Yelich, 29 is great. He has had an incredible season, but those milestone numbers to have that 30, to have that 100 RBI, which he already has at 101, would just be incredible for him. So I have now taken myself out of they need to get 97, and I really want to see Yelly go yard to have that 30-100 season. Jackson's got the 2020, Yelly with 30 and 100. Murphy's going to win NL Manager of the Year. Let's just wrap all that together with a World Series championship so we can celebrate together. What do you say?
I'm in. Say less. Where do I sign?
Right here.
Exactly.
One final segment here live from American Family Field. Tony Cartagena, Dom Cotroneo with you, presented by the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin, leading you up to Brewers warm-up, which Dom will have on 620 WTMJ right after we get off the air here. One more break and then one final segment here. Thanks a whole bunch to our teams over at Boucher Automotive, Annex Wealth Management, and Delta Dental of Wisconsin for their presentation of some of our Brewers coverage here on 94.5 ESPN.
More Specialty Brewers Saturday coming up next on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
This year, it just feels different.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Listen to WTMJ as the Brewers make their charge to the postseason. Brewers playoff coverage is presented by the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin and featured by Annex Wealth Management, Boucher Automotive, and Delta Dental. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
I've been to my fair share of green and gold games, and the best way to get there is with Accutrans Group. At Good Karma Brands and ESPN Milwaukee, we use Accutrans Group to get our partners to and from Green Bay, and it's always first class. From stadiums to concerts and tailgates, your game day fun starts the moment you step on board. Sit back, relax, and let their professional chauffeurs handle the traffic while you enjoy the ride. Accutrans Group is Milwaukee's premier ground transportation, available 24/7 with sedans, SUVs, limos, vans, and buses. Book today at AccuTransGroup.com.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night, so for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
Sharon needed legal help. She needed Gruber Law Offices.
When I think about Gruber Law Office, I think about how they took care of me, how they make sure that you get what you're supposed to get. Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all. I will always trust one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
They are the best. I'm very happy.
The vibrant fall colors and cooler temperatures make for great days out on the golf course. The Island invites you to experience the best of fall golf with late season rounds at Sweetgrass or Sage Run. Fall golf rates run through the end of the 2025 season, with tee times starting at $75 and stay and play packages from $125. And submit your 2026 golf package request early to guarantee choice dates. Plan your fall golf adventure today at islandresortgolf.com.
It's Jason Wilde from Wilde & Tausch. Upgrade your industrial supply services with Lakeland Supply, your trusted ISO-certified partner for custom packaging, shipping supplies, janitorial, and safety supply solutions. With over 40 years of industry excellence, Lakeland Supply is a proven one-stop source with over 95% of their products made in the U.S., and they treat their customers like family. Personalized service with a national reach. That's what Lakeland Supply does. Visit lakelandsupply.com to discover how they can make your business better.
Kick off your game day with a shine. Stop by Tsunami Express Car Wash now with 7 convenient locations across greater Milwaukee, including the brand new location in New Berlin. The best part, your very first wash is absolutely free when you sign up online. That's a $25 value on us. At Tsunami Express, you'll enjoy premium washes that protect your car, plus free vacuums and detailing tools to keep your ride looking spotless inside and out. Fast, easy, and always looking its best. Roll into the game feeling confident and clean. Claim your free wash today at TsunamiExpress.com. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat.
Craving that crispy, cheesy, thick Detroit-style pizza? Well, now you got it with Screamin' Sicilian. Screamin' Sicilian delivers the crunch, the gooey cheese pull, and that light, airy crust that you love, all baked in its own pan for those crave-worthy caramelized edges straight from your home oven. You got the cheese, the pepperoni, multi-meat, or supreme. It's like dining out, but without the hefty bill. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer section. Screamin' Sicilian, Detroit style, thick, crispy, unapologetically screamin'.
This is Specialty Brewers Saturday on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
One final segment here on a special edition of Brewers Warm-Up, 94.5 ESPN. Tony Cartagena with you. Dom Catronio here as well. Listen to Dom on 620 WTMJ right after this show as he will get you ready for Brewers Reds. The Brewers one win away from a franchise record. The Cincinnati Reds clinging to hopes that they can make the 2025 MLB postseason, being the third NL Central team to do so.
Score update
What's
from
up?
Miami. Mets lead 3-0 now.
I thought you were going to say that their bullpen blew it. So.
No, not yet. Not yet. There's still time. I mean, Edwin Diaz might get a 6-out save in that one. I don't know.
So the Reds will be keeping an eye on that. We'll be keeping an eye on the Milwaukee Brewers as their spot in the postseason is guaranteed.
Bye is guaranteed as well. How about that?
The bye is guaranteed. That week off is going to be huge for this team.
You know, Pat Murphy was talking about it yesterday of just like it's going to be still pointed practice. And it's not meant to – they're not going to do like a full sim game and blow it out and have the line. It's like they're still going to have very focused practice and get these guys moving. It's not just going to be relaxation. And I think this team could really use a benefit of that week off that they've earned.
Yeah, at one point they had, the 19 games in 18 days?
Yeah.
Something crazy like that. They're getting healthy. We had a fantastic, was the quote, on how Jose Quintana looked for in his simulated game session yesterday. Trevor McGill said he expects to be ready. He's hoping to throw some live real pitches tomorrow here at AmFam Field, even if it's just one batter. So the rest will definitely help the injuries. They will help the depth. It'll help this team get ready to roll into the 2025 postseason, have a little magic brew, and hopefully, we're here throughout October and we get to the World Series and we can celebrate that as well. As today's show wraps up and it is presented by the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin, our producer back in the studio, his name's Andrew Zimmel. I don't know if you've got to work with Andrew yet before, Dom, but I've seen Andrew walk around the office in a Vikings jersey. I think maybe a Minnesota Gophers crew neck. And he always has on his Milwaukee Brewers hat.
All right.
Every single time I see Andrew, I don't even know what color your hair is, Andrew, because you always have that Milwaukee Brewers hat on. I don't know if you're cleared for air, but you are for the next couple of minutes here. Tell me your opinions, my man, back at the studio on the Milwaukee Brewers and just this incredible season that has unfolded. And he joined our team in the middle of the season to watch this run kind of unfold in front of your eyes. Andrew, what's up, man?
Yeah, guys. No, I was saying to myself when I got up here, they started that incredible winning streak, and I was like, is it me? Am I the reason that we're winning all these games? I don't think so, but the power of friendship has played off pretty well.
Credit where it's due. You can't change your hat now. I don't know if you have went and purchased an NL Central hat. I don't know if the team has sent you one as a great producer over on 101.7 The Truth. I know they send Kyle Wallace a lot of stuff. Maybe you got to get your name on that list. But, Andrew, you're not allowed to change that hat. That hat is good luck, and you are to wear it every day, every game day throughout the rest of the season. We got a deal?
Oh, obviously. I got to get my World Series championship hat. That's the next hat I'm going to wear.
Hey, you know what? Buy it after the season. Just make sure you're wearing the lucky hat until we get to that World Series championship. That's all I ask.
100%, guys.
That's Andrew Zimmel. He's been producing for us for the last 2 hours here on a special edition of Brewers Warm-Up on 94.5 ESPN, presented by the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin, Annex Wealth Management, Boucher Automotive, and Delta Dental of Wisconsin. You can hear all of Andrew's great work on 101.7 The Truth, our sister station. You can also hear all of Dom's great work on 620 WTMJ before Brewers games, after Brewers games, during the week, and the amount of people at AmFam Field today who have come up to Dom, shook his hand, dapped him up, gave him a high five, and said, I follow you on Twitter for Brewers updates. Dom, where can the fans find you?
I mean, we're Dom_Catronio, DOM_COT, and then I should pop up from there. Dom C Baseball on Instagram as well. Same handle for Twitter and TikTok. This has been fun, man. Appreciate you coming on down and talking ball. And sometimes it's like pulling teeth talking ball with some folks in our office, but I'm really excited to get the October right around the corner.
You got to hang around the office more because let me tell you, when we get onto a rant about the Brewers, whether it's we can shout out our great teammates, myself, Ben Brust, Eric Davidson, Austin Della. We'll get into these circles, and all of a sudden, hey, hopefully, Craig and Greg aren't listening. Like an hour will go by, and we're still deep into the rotation for where the Brewers are going to be. What is the injury status? But we work, we promise. But, you got to talk a little Brewers baseball, help pass the time.
But if you want more Brewers baseball, I'm going over to WTMJ here coming up at the top of the hour.
Dom's going to go get upstairs so he can do his show. Brewers warm-up coming up, 620 WTMJ. I'm Tony Cartagena. You can find me on Thanalis' show with Thanasis on to DeCumpo. We're back, baby. Bucks Media Day is Monday, but we're going to celebrate the Brewers for as long as we can, and that includes on Thanalis, if you want to go check out. We've had Yelich. We've had Murphy. We recently had Sal Frelick on episode. So TA and Giannis got Brewers fever as well. Brewers Reds today at American Family Field. Fan Appreciation Day. Check or watch the game on national TV, but also listen. That's where the better product is. Listen on 620 WTMJ. For myself, Tony Cartagena, Dom Cotroneo, Andrew Zimmel back at the Gruber Law Offices, One Call That's All Studios. Thanks for listening. This has been Brewers Warm-Up presented by Neurospine Center of Wisconsin, Boucher Automotive, Annex Wealth Management, and Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Let's go Brewers.
Come catch the final battle of the regular season when the Brewers host the Reds Friday, September